Hello folks, welcome to the YouTube channel. Um, this channel was originally supposed to be like a vlog that would vlog like my daily trips and whatnot, but since I don't really have the proper equipment to do that, um, we will just have a little hangout, I guess, at the end of the day or at the start of the day and have a little chit chat that way, I guess. Um, I'll probably be discussing things that I encountered in my day, you know. Um, I'm going to try to keep it as family friendly as possible, right? So keep cussing to a minimum, if any. I know everybody makes a slip every now and then, right? But if I do, I'll always watch these over before I post them. I'll try to edit that out. Not that I'm a big time, but somebody might cut me off and I'll, have a little rant or something stupid, right? So sometimes in regular conversation, if I'm discussing what happened at that time, you start thinking back, you might make a little slip, right? Happens to everybody. But all in all, it's going to be a family-friendly channel. I'm going to discuss things I do in the run of my day, where I go, what I haul, to an extent, right? I don't think I'll be disclosing like any company names or anything like that, or any specifics that I have on my, just for safety reasons and whatnot. Um, but anyway, I run Eastern Canada only. Uh, I do New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia. Um, it's a reefer outfit, so I haul refrigerated products, mostly produce and seafood is what I usually haul, but it could be basically anything that needs refrigeration, even the odd time haul some dairy products and whatnot. But yeah, so this channel is just going to be discussing things I encounter in my day, trucking safety. I might make some videos on like what to bring with you on the road. Um, as a first timer, like I'm not necessarily a first timer. I've had my license for 6 years. I've done some long haul in the past. I did Eastern Seaboard United States and some Midwest, not a whole lot. Uh, as far as I've been in Canada was to Manitoba, to Winnipeg, when I was with the last outfit there, and mostly Eastern Seaboard. I've been to Houston, Texas, and whatnot, or things like that. North and South Dakota. Um, so there's still a lot I haven't seen, a lot I haven't done. Um, I have a total of just under 3 years with tractor trailer, so I'm not on here going to profess to be this big time pro that's going to, on here preaching to people how and how to do things and how to drive and what. Um, Honestly, I've had my first big learning curve with automatic transmissions at this outfit. I never had a lot of seat time behind the wheel of an automatic, and I've only driven manual transmissions basically since I got my license. Other than like an automatic in your pickup truck or your car or whatnot, right? But that's a totally different ball game in itself because these big trucks, they're automated manual transmissions, and I didn't know the different modes and stuff, and and I'm still struggling with some of it. Um, Unless it's like a mechanical issue, which it could be, because my last truck that I was in, it's actually down for the count now. It had some mechanical issues. I've had a hard time backing that into it off, and it's supposed to have a creep mode, but that wasn't engaging, so I don't know if it's like a sensor or whatnot. And I'm having the same issue with my temporary truck that I'm in right now. But my assigned truck was a 2019 Freightliner Cascadia. It had a DD13 engine, like the Detroit. I think the new Detroits are actually Mercedes Benz. What the old MBE 900 would have been, I think, is what the DD13 is based on. Since they I think Detroit was bought by Daimler Trucks or or whatnot. So anyway, it's the DD13. It has the DT12 Autoshift transmission, which is also a Detroit brand transmission, like a Daimler transmission. So anyway, that truck is down for the count. The high pressure fuel pump actually exploded through shrapnel, all down through the injectors and whatnot. So hopefully that truck isn't cooked, but it really well could be. Like the engine could be pretty well, done. But anyway, I've had some issues with that with the transmission. with creep mode and whatnot, and headed into the shop, and they were like, no, it should be working fine and whatnot. Like, they took it for a drive with no load on it, though. Like, it might be different with a load. But that truck was rated for 435 and 1550 torque. Right now, I'm in a temporary truck. It's a 2019 International LT. It has an X15 Cummins. It's a 450, 1650 power rating. And it has a 10-speed Eaton automatic transmission, or Eaton Autoshift transmission. Seems pretty good, but then again, the whole backing thing, I'm still having an issue with the clutch overheating comes up on this. And this truck only has 460,000 kilometers on it, which I think, like, don't quote me on it. I'm not going to do the math, but roughly 300,000 miles maybe. So it doesn't have a hell of a lot of, like, miles on it or anything for anything to be seriously wrong with it. But I had clutch overheating with this, and I've only been driving this for 2 days with the whole backing, and waiting for creep mode to engage. I don't see anything on the dash. I like, to identify that it's in creep mode or anything like that. So I don't know. Mentioned it to the shop. They just said keep running it. This truck sits a lot. It's a spare truck because I guess it was one of the more problematic trucks. So they more or less just keep it on the sidelines for someone that has an issue like I had with my Freightliner. Like, this truck will be here for them to take it over for 2 or 3 days until the other truck gets repaired. So this was one of the more problematic ones. So they just said, just do the best you can with it or whatnot. But I usually drove manual transmissions. I don't like, it's not like a manly thing or an ego thing with me. I simply do not like the way that the auto shifts act and how they operate. Like, if it's an Allison transmission, they like I've driven them before, like a actual full torque converter automatic. You select drive, and away you go. I would drive one of them all day. I don't care. It's not that I feel like I have to be shifting gears to feel like a real trucker or anything like that, which I do think that, I don't know, this might get a little bit political, but I do believe that everybody should have to learn and have at least their first 2 years of driving experience with a manual transmission. I think that should be a given for anybody. Like, I really do. Like, even just a 10-speed or a 9-speed, right? Like, because that's the way it was with me. Like, not right out of school and throw you right in like an automatic transmission. Like, but I guess everything's going auto, like everything is going that way now. Like, even me, I'm 31 years old. I've had my license for 6 years, and people are, people are surprised that I could even drive a manual transmission. Like, at my last outfit, I applied for the job, and I was driving an 18-speed Mack twin-steer dump truck, and they were like, okay, it's like, can you drive a manual though? Like, that's the thing. And I was like, yeah, like, that's all I ever drove. And they didn't really believe me. They thought I would be out there ripping gears anyway. But no, it worked out fine. I was hauling heavy equipment, and so anyway, what I'm trying to get at, I think everybody should be trained on a manual transmission, because a lot of the dump truck outfits and heavy haul outfits, they're still going to run manual transmission until they actually build a auto shift that's actually strong enough to do that job, which I think, like, in Europe or whatnot, Volvo had, like, and they're bringing it to North America now, like the iShift 13 and 14 speed, and I think the Mack M-Drive, like a similar deal there. They're supposed to be very robust transmissions. They had them in Europe for years, and they're bringing them here. Like, they had the iShift here in North America for years, Volvo, and the M-Drive. It's like a similar transmission. And from what I've known, like, I've never driven one. I've never driven a Volvo iShift. I've driven like a Volvo with an Eaton transmission in it, like an Eaton manual. But yeah, They're supposed to be like the best, from what I hear. They're supposed to be the best Autoshift transmissions out there. Um, I don't know much about like the DD12 in mine. It was finicky. It shifted slow at times. And the whole backing and creep mode thing, if one of those sensors give out and you don't have that creep mode available, you're going to burn up your clutches. As with a manual transmission, you can feather your clutch into the dock or whatever, just kind of feather till you hit. And then if you don't have that creep mode, like technically that creep mode is basically like feathering the clutch, you know. And with that disabled or with that not working properly, you're basically going to burn out your clutch because it's not going to, it's going to tell the transmission when creep mode is not engaged that you want to go, like you're getting ready to go. And with this, it can't tell the difference between forward gears and reverse gears. It's just a sensor that says creep mode. So with that disabled, like you're gonna run into overheating clutch problems and stuff. That's what the problem I'm having with this, and the problem I had with my Freightliner Cascadia. So what I'm trying to get at is I don't not want an automatic for the whole like ego or being manly. It's simply for not making an ass of yourself sometimes when you're at like the shipper or the receiver and you're trying to get into a dock and you're rocking and bucking and going into it and people are looking at it like you just got your license yesterday. And it's been embarrassing for me a couple times, like especially in this international, you know, like I've never had an issue with that going into a dock with a manual transmission. So anyway, that's just my rant about automatic transmissions. Like, they're great, you know, when you're tired. But like if you're trying to like get into a dock or something and they're having little mechanical issues with like creep mode or whatnot, it can be like a real pain because all of a sudden you have no power, then all of a sudden there's power, and then you shoot backwards, and it's just no. But unfortunately, with this outfit that I'm with now, every truck is an Autoshift. The only manual truck on this property is one that they use for shunting the trailers in and out of the shop here, and that's one of their old retired day cabs. It's like a 1998 Freightliner. Like, I would show you the truck, but I don't want to get no company name in this video or anything like that, because, you know. But it's like an old 98 Freightliner, like a FL D120 day cab, and that's a 13-speed. But that's the only manual transmission on the property. They weaned out all the manual transmissions like last year. They had a couple of 10 speeds left, and all of them are gone. I was hoping I would get in one of those, but no. But anyway, so I guess my first video was about Autoshift transmissions and why I don't really like them per se. You know, I'll drive anything if I'm going to be getting paid to do something. I'll drive anything, but I want to have something that's working properly. That's not going to mess up, especially in a dock or something. If you have like no power and creep mode isn't engaging, and you have to give it throttle, and all of a sudden you bring it up to say like 1200 RPM before it wants to go backwards, and all of a sudden you shoot backwards, like that can be dangerous. It can cause damage, and not to mention like it's not all about ego, but it makes you look like a very unprofessional driver. And so it might, like, not ego but pride maybe, you know, because yesterday I just felt embarrassed, right? Like, here I am in this truck and she's bucking and rocking, and it was a bit of an uphill to the dock, and here I'm pressing on the fuel and I'm rolling ahead at a good pace, so I had to stop, and then it says overheating. It's like, okay, it's nothing I'm doing. Like, I've driven them enough now to know like it should be going in creep mode. I know. But anyway, like is there anyone else out there that has these problems, or is it just me? Like, please comment or whatnot. If I'm doing something wrong, or you think I'm an idiot, or like I'm a damn fool on here making a video, like, I don't care. Leave a comment. It's fine by me, positive or negative. But this particular transmission in this one is the worst by far that I've ever driven, and it's the 10-speed Eaton transmission. I'm not sure if it's the Cummins and Eaton configuration because it's a 2019, But this one's the 10-speed. It's not the new 12-speed, because I know they have a Cummins Eaton Endurance transmission, and it's a 12-speed, and it's supposed to be really good. But this one is just a 10-speed, so I'm not sure if it's like the Eaton Smart Shift or whatnot. But it has the low, drive, neutral, and reverse. The manual mode you push in on the side, which it's disabled in this. It doesn't work. It will allow you to shift down, like to pre-select a lower gear going up a hill, so it doesn't like drag you down like 1,000 RPM before it makes the shift. You can manually shift it down, but you can't actually put this transmission into manual mode and go through the gears yourself, which I find, like, I don't know, I find it quite annoying. And the Jake is on the thing. You got stage 1, 2, and 3 and off or whatnot. So yeah, does anybody have the same issues? If so, comment and maybe explain to me what you had to do to get it to do its thing. Because I did bring it up to the shop, but they're probably thinking we don't know about this guy because he was in 2 different trucks and he's having transmission problems. So maybe it's him, and maybe I do need more training on the automatic. I'm not sure, but I've been with this company for 3 months, and I finally got used to the Freightliner and the way it acted, with not having creep mode engaged or disabled or whatnot. And now I'm in this, and it's like, oh my god, like a totally different ball game. I don't know. I just wish I could have even a 10-speed. Okay. My last outfit, well, not the last outfit, but the last outfit that I actually drove 18-wheeler long haul with was, anyway, they had all 10 speeds, and that wasn't that long ago. That was 2 or 3 years ago. And they had all 10-speed transmissions. And they were Freightliner Cascadia, they were DD15, and they were rated for 455 and 1650 torque. As far as I know, there's 2 different versions of the 455. One is a 1550, one's a 1650 with the DD15. Theirs were spec 455, 1650, and they had 10-speed manual transmissions. And I thought, Jesus, well, 455, that may not be a lot of power. And we hauled heavy at times. We were grossing close to 80,000 at times. And believe it or not, me being new to the 10-speed and the whole lower powered trucks, it actually did really well, and it was awesome. And I thought it was they shifted great, everything was fine, and yeah. So even a 10-speed would be ideal for me, anything with a manual transmission. So. But if anybody has any suggestions on what to do, if I'm doing something wrong, I'll explain what I'm doing. I register neutral. If I'm in a forward gear, I'm getting ready to back into a dock, I do my whole maneuver, get situated. I register neutral till, the end shows on the dash. With my foot still on the brake, I go into reverse. While my foot's on that brake, creep mode, as far as I know, should be engaging. When I let off that brake, there's nothing. She just stays there. Then I hit the fuel. Nothing. And if I'm on a bit of an angle with a bit of a load, it'll just rev and she'll start to rock and then she'll shoot back. To me, that's a clutch problem. Alright? As if I was in my manual transmission, I'd feather the clutch out and she'd start coming back on her own, no problem. There'd be no bucking and, So, but anyway, that's my rant today. So I guess this was an introduction and also why I don't like Autoshift transmissions. Most of the time. Sometimes I love them. If I'm tired, I'm in congested traffic and I'm just flying down the highway and I'm into the hills and, I'm getting close to my 13-hour shift being up and I was basically awake and alert for 16, 17 hours and I just want to get done. You know what? I love the automatic, But all in all, I prefer a manual transmission. So please leave a comment. If you think I'm a crazy hillbilly-looking guy on here complaining about, his auto shift transmission or whatnot, leave a comment for that too. If you have any suggestions on different ways to operate the auto shifts, whether you have a DT12 or the international version, because my regular assigned truck is the Freightliner with a DT12, and I had similar issues with that, like I mentioned before, just not as bad as the Eaton transmission and the international. So anyway, please comment, share it if you want, or whatever. I'm kind of new to this, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm just using a cell phone camera. So anyway, you all have a good day, and thanks for watching. And if you have any suggestions, comments, or whatever, then feel free to leave a comment or whatnot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day.